Good morning, everybody. Today we're going to be in the Utah region, and we're going to be seeing Utah Beach, of course, which is where the second expedition of the American contribution was. And also we'll be visiting the museum there, some gun emplacements. It's going to be a really fun day, perhaps a couple of surprises, so we'll see what happens. All right, so thank you for being with us on our journey today. Here we go. We're back in Sainte Eglise on this day, and we're here to study some locations that was very famous to World War II. There you see the same identical intersection, modern day and then 1944. Here's another view in another street in Sainte Eglise, modern day, and then again on D-Day in 1944. This is General Theodore or Teddy Roosevelt. He was an assistant divisional commander of the 4th Infantry Division. He was also the son of President Roosevelt, Theodore Roosevelt. He was in Sainte Mary Eglise on this day in July, and not too far after this filming, he actually passed away of a heart attack. He's buried with his men in Normandy, and here's the exact spot that he was visiting his men on that day. This building also served as a hospital during the war. And you see here is another location of a ghost photo where some German prisoners were. Another street view, and if you rewind the time clock, you can see that at this very location, paratroopers were on horseback riding down this street in Sainte Mary Eglise. And then it was on to the Airborne Museum there in town. We saw some interesting artifacts. For example, is this 1941 paratrooper prototype. This is the exact uniform they used for the 1942 version, which you see here, which is badged in the French paratrooper version. And they also have a couple of other French uniforms, very unusual uniforms that we have that are hard to find in this museum. Also, here's a wedding dress that was made from parachute silk, primarily the reserve chute of the paratroopers. And just outside the museum, we found this wonderful example of a 1944 Willys MB Jeep. The United States made over 600,000 of these vehicles, and they were all over Normandy. One general said they were one of the implements that helped win the war, and I'm quite fond of these vehicles. And now on to Utah Beach proper. This was the second location of the American contribution on D-Day. And while on the beach, we were able to meet up with some other Americans on tour and had a quick conversation with them. Of course, this spot is also one of the spots of our historical photos that we use as ghost photos. And you'll see Chuck posing here for his location of his historical photo. And then it was on to a little village by the name of Sainte Marcouf. This is footage taken on D-Day in 1944. It features the paratroopers of the 82nd Division who liberated the village. And here's a GI interacting with some French children. Here they are marching into the city, and we were able to find this exact spot that the soldiers were actually walking through. Pretty amazing. Here's another exact spot near the church in the village where paratroopers were and were filmed. And we took just a moment to honor them and to pose in the exact same spot that they were patrolling that day. And then on to some French cuisine. We ate well the entire week in Normandy. Here's some ham with a mushroom glaze sauce and an omelet with ham. We ate very, very well in Normandy. And while we're at the restaurant, we were able to post a picture of Sony and his wife Carol, and of course his dog Tags, there on the wall of honor. And then we ended the day at Fiere Bridge. This is the site of a very famous World War II battle that lasted about 2 or 3 days around D-Day. This was one of the objectives of the 82nd Airborne. And here you see the historian of the current 82nd Airborne giving us a historical account of what happened on those 2 days there at Fiere Bridge. And of course, we ended the day at sunset at Fiere Bridge.